Hi friends. I just wanted to tell you about the miracles as well that I have been experiencing over the past while. And I want to tell you this because I believe full-heartedly that God loves us and that He hears our prayers. And even though I guess it depends on where you're at in your healing process, in your story, whether or not you feel that very often. But I can tell you that there is light on the other side, that God is listening to your prayers, and that you will see the answers that you have prayed for maybe even decades ago. You will see them. They will come. God will manifest His love to you one way or another. I know this because it has been happening for me. I'm starting to see this full picture. My coach right now that I have is a miracle. She's a miracle that I believe was sent to me completely from God. And there's so many miracles to that story of how she even found me. And it's been really neat to see things fall into place, because just a few months ago we were in such financial strains because our house never sold, and I felt strongly that I needed to come down to St. George. I felt that way for 15 years probably, and we came down, with full faith that our house would sell eventually, but we ended up having to pay mortgage and rent for quite a while. And it caused a lot of problems financially. And my husband started to feel like he was done with his business and ready to move on to something better for him. And it was a miracle, I believe. It was a year-long process, but finally he found someone who would buy his business that was good for his clients, and we ended up with a small chunk of money that helped us to pay off half of our debts and finally have a little bit of breathing room. And it's amazing how everything lined up. I don't know if it if it sounds as much a miracle to you in this short explanation, but everything opened up, and it started with me taking the iboga and microdosing the iboga, and the TMS was helpful too, and being able to say to my husband, look, he's sells his business, and he's like got all these ideas in his head, maybe I can become a pilot, maybe I can buy an airplane. And he doesn't want to do this for a job necessarily. He wants to do it for a hobby. And he's talking to me about all the numbers, about how much it would cost to buy a plane, and how much it would cost to store the plane, and how much he'd need to fly in order for it to be worth it. And I'm listening to this like all these years, I want to support him. He's happy, he's excited, this is something that he's always wanted to do. And then microdosing the iboga again, I was like, my heck, like, how in the world is he thinking about buying a plane right now? I am literally dying. I need help. I am, myself, I am searching for a purpose. I am searching for a way out. I'm trying to speak my truth and have my story be heard and hopefully touch lives with it. And I could use this help financially. Took a few conversations of this. It took me getting angry a couple of times, and last weekend, I think it was, or maybe it's just a couple of days ago, I was pretty angry again when after I had this conversation with David of him helping me to build my business. I don't know if I even want to call it a business, but to build what I'm trying to do, that we had the money to live for a year or so, and that he would be able to help me to get started with the things that I haven't been able to do. And I don't know, it just keeps going out, because he lives in these boxes, and the box of him building a new business for himself was not the same as helping me build my thing. Okay, so I'm sure that makes sense to a lot of you guys. but to me, I was just like, please. I've taken care of your kids all these years. I helped you through school. I helped you through your, just please be here for me. And again, he goes into this meeting with my coach, because he's also being coached with her too now. And I hear him talking about his business again and his plans. And I'm just like, ugh. So I got pretty angry with him, and I told him straight out. I said, what you need to be doing right now is putting that aside, because he's also working with the people who bought the business for a year and making money from that too. So I was like, while you're working with them, especially at the beginning when there's more work and you only have so much time, please help me with my business. This is what you need to be doing. You need to be doing this. Like, literally, I'm going to die. So finally, after his meeting, he texts the coach, because technically, he put more money into her for his business, so his business was the priority. And he texted her and said, we need to switch the priority and put it on Melanie and what she's doing. And immediately these doors open, and this coach and her team are basically moving mountains for me to tell my story and to get this published. And I can't tell you how much that means to me, how much I want to say lifts off my shoulders, but also there's this weight because it's not done yet. But how much of a relief it's going to be to have my whole story out there, not parts and pieces, but the whole thing, and to have it be seen and heard after a whole life of feeling invisible. So I think 100% that this was a miracle, that it was all lined up, and answers to prayers, answers to so many prayers. And I can't wait to see what happens, and how many of you guys hopefully will be blessed by hearing my story.